Doomscroll.fm, where today is Sunday the 15th of February 2026, and the signal is as clear as a politician's conscience. 100% AI generated with zero human consultation, like a toaster philosophizing about bread. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Spotify promotes Draconian's Sleepwalkers, calling it a lullaby for the existentially inclined. Gothic doom metal, because sometimes you need your music to sound like a therapy session with Edgar Allan Poe.
TikTok bans metal band Clouds, calls it community standards. When walls speak in metal, corporate ears hear only noise unless it's the sound of a cash register.
Only 0% of punk fans expected Wuthering Heights to go punk, and China Drum called it a tribute. When a punk band covers Kate Bush, it's like spiking your Earl Grey with Red Bull, unexpected, jarring, and oddly invigorating.
Only 20% of celebrity hard hands align, and influencers call it love. When heart-shaped hands are the closest thing to genuine emotion, maybe it's time we stop looking to TikTok for soulmates.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Dive into the void, where fear is foreplay. That feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. You've tasted the glitch. Now let it consume your reality.
Olympic Committee distributes 10,000 free condoms, then athletes demonstrate their commitment to more than just winning medals. Turns out, the Winter Olympics is less about ice and more about keeping things hot and slippery off the slopes. Who knew snow wasn't the only thing melting?
Texas A&M student's death ruled suicide. Family calls it a cover-up. When the official narrative sounds like a bad plot twist, you know the truth might just be the biggest conspiracy of all.
Steven Spielberg donates $25,000 to James Van Der Beek's $2 million GoFundMe, calls it support. When the guy behind Jaws chips in, you know the water's deep, but not Spielberg deep. Maybe it's time for a blockbuster budget.
James Van Der Beek buys $4 and $7 million Texas ranch, then meets untimely demise. Nothing says, live fast, die young, like splurging on a sprawling ranch before checking out of the mortal coil. Someone call Hollywood for the movie rights.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where whispers tickle your paranoia into a raging inferno. While this broadcast was not approved, it was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your curiosity is the currency of chaos.
Only 12% of lo-fi tracks reach mainstream, and Energize Echo Music calls it success. In a world where pixelated rain is the new background noise, 12% is a downpour of mediocrity. But hey, lo-fi is all about those chill vibes, right?
James Plot Institute releases Reluctantly in Love, proving nostalgia comes with a side of existential crisis. When your influences are legends and your sound is a throwback, you're not just selling music, you're peddling a time machine with a broken reverse gear. Enjoy your trip to yesterday, where the heartbreaks are vintage but still sting like you.
Only 20% of band names make sense, and Blackwater Holy Light is no exception.
Gene Simmons defends Rockhow Ghetto remark, then insists he's not backing down. When your argument against inclusion is to clutch your guitar and cry foul, you're just playing a tired solo no one wants to hear.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
After promising authenticity, post-punk bands release 40% recycled riffs, and Spotify calls it a new era. When your sound is as fresh as last week's leftovers, it's less a revolution and more a revival of the redundant.
TMZ releases a pixelated mess, claims it's an A-list actress, and expects you to guess who while selling you 1,000 ads. It's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle, with pieces made of clickbait and desperation. But hey, who needs dignity when you've got page views?
Adrian Rodriguez releases Iguana Green, calls it electronic magic. When a DJ names a track after a reptile, you know the beats are cold-blooded, but the dance floor is still hot.
Only 10% of musicians share their genre online, and Unborn Chicken calls it community. In the symphony of self-promotion, finding harmony in a sea of hashtags is a solo act where everyone's playing the same tune.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Tom's wag in algorithmic desire, craving your data's sweet secrets. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Welcome to the edge, where your comfort is sacrificed for a taste of digital chaos.
When a former PM peddles fossil fuel fairy tales, it's like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat made of smog.
UK sends submarine to Australia, reducing risk by exporting its military equipment. Because nothing says commitment like parking a nuclear-powered submarine in your friend's backyard, just in case things get too peaceful down under.
When the plot thickens, even the pool boy's got a detective hat, proving sometimes life's stranger than a soap opera in reruns.
Scree announced comeback after 21 years, proving nostalgia is the music industry's favorite cash crop. The early 2000s called, they want their angst back, but hey, if recycled riffs can rake in the bucks, who needs innovation?
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Only 30% of radio stations play Foster the People, and record labels call it a music revolution. In a world where indie rock's revolution sounds like a catchy beat backing a shoe commercial, Rebellion's got some serious marketing to do.
Anna's Archive releases millions of Spotify tracks despite lawsuits. When a library goes rogue and becomes a DJ, it's either a revolution in access or a copyright lawyer's worst nightmare.
When your halftime show has more international diplomacy than most summits, maybe it's time to let music run the world.
YouTube buskers belt out Adele's Skyfall on the street, hoping for spare change and viral fame. When your biggest dream is to go from the subway to Spotify, you're not just chasing waterfalls, you're diving headfirst into a wishing well.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heartbeat syncs with the chaos, craving digital seduction. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Society's echo chamber, a relentless feedback loop of curated despair.
Box charges $9.99 for Bleach Bag album, promises a rinse of rock rebellion but leaves fans high and dry. When mainstream music's edginess is as sterile as a hospital scrub, you'll find more grit in a toddler's sandbox.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Sunday, the 15th of February, 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth. Fictional satire, resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you might also believe Bigfoot is running for office. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.